Hi, this is Numeric Citizen. In today's video, I want to show you how I'm using Things tree in combination with Craft. Also, a few tips, and lastly, a few comments related to the latest releases of Craft. Let's get started. Things tree is a task and to-do management available for the Apple ecosystem. It's available on the Mac, on the iPad, and also on the iPhone. I've been using Things tree for quite a while now. If you are subscribing to my YouTube channel, you might remember that I used to use Craft for managing my workflow using the Craft checkbox items in a document. I stopped using that Craft for that because I thought Craft wasn't powerful enough to support my workflow. So since then, I've been building a setup in my Things tree application that helps me support and drive my Craft usage. So I'll show you how I'm doing that. So for example, let's say as you know, I'm analyzing each release of Craft. And for that, I have created a template where you'll see a lot of tasks grouped in a list of themes or steps that I need to follow in order to process this Craft release. So this is what you're seeing now on the screen. So with each release of Craft, what I'll do is I'll duplicate this project here, and then I'll rename that to the actual release number. And for each release, there's a set of tasks that I'm going to execute in this specific order. And the first thing I'll do, as you can see here, is to set things up. So I'll read the What's New website. I'll create a new page in a specific document within my Craft environment. And then I will go down on each of these tasks one by one. So, and as you can see here, there's a place where I can enter a note for this specific project, and also a few tags here and there that I try to put on every tasks and projects that I'm managing within Things, because it will help me later to find things within my list of tasks to execute. So as you can see here, there's a little document icon on the right side of this item. So if I double click on that, it will show me a note field where I can put a URL in this specific area. If I click on that, it will bring me the What's New website, where I can read everything that is coming with a specific release. So I'll do that each time there's a new release of Craft. And then after that, I'll create a new page in the Analysis of Craft Release document within my Craft environment. So if I double click on this task, you'll see that there is a deep link within the note field. And if I click on this, it will bring me exactly to the right place within my Craft environment. And as you can see here, this is the document that is already available on the web because it is shared here. And what I'll do is I'll create a new page within this specific document, and then I'll start writing my notes relating to this specific release. So if I go back to my Things application, as soon as the page has been created, I'll check off this task. And again, I'll update obviously all my devices to use the latest release of Craft, and then eventually I'll experiment with this release on the Mac, on the iPad, on the iPhone, and also on the web. So as I'm doing that, as you can see here, I'll take note and maybe screenshots of each of the new features or the tweaks that has been done in a specific release. So as I go down this list, then I'll document that in the page that I have created in this specific tasks. Eventually, I'll also kind of monitor the general user feedbacks and comments on Slack and Circle or in Reddit to kind of get a sense of how the people are reacting to a specific release. So it's very interesting to get those comments and then try to figure out what's good and what's bad, and on top of having my own opinion about this release. Eventually, I'll analyze and write and maybe share a few thoughts on those platforms. And at the end of the process, I'll just update a few documents. So if a specific release introduces a new feature, I'll probably add a new update to the craft Bible. And also I'll revise my craft wish list. So again, if I click on that, it will bring me to the, in that case, to the website where I can see the actual wish list that I can update, and also to check off some of the items that has been added to the craft release and that is now no longer needed in this wish list. So if I go back in things, so the way to link the things task with the craft environment is pretty simple. So if I go back in the craft here and I click on this specific document, what I can do here is, if I go there, I can just right click on this specific document, and then I'll copy the deep link for that document. And then when I switch into the things application, I can go anywhere in this task or field, and I'll paste the actual link that I just got from the craft environment. So this way, it's pretty easy to just switch back and forth. So to switch from craft to things, because sometimes I need to do both. So what I can see, I'll try to find a place where I have a link where I can switch to the things application. Again, I'll try to find somewhere. Now, here is a things deep link within a craft document. Here it's in the document that helps me produce this specific episode of the on YouTube. So if I look at this link here, there is a subject that I want to talk about, and I can go directly to the things task where I decided to have this specific subject to be talked about in this specific episode. So again, if I go back in this craft document, there's also this one here that will point me directly to this specific task in things. So this is how you'll be able, I'm able to actually flip between things and craft back and forth. So you saw how I'm using craft to get this deep link to a specific document or page or block, and then paste that into things. But how can I take a specific deep link from a things object and then paste that into my craft document? So it's pretty simple. I can go here and then select share, and then this file, this pop-up here will come, and then I'll just select copy link here, boom, and then I can go back in craft, and then whatever I want to just paste that link here. So this link will be able to bring me to the craft environment. I can do that. Yep, I can do that here. And then I'll just make this as a link so I can jump back to my things task. So you get a sense. So this is how I'm actually doing the linking between two applications, and I think it's pretty powerful because my starting point in a workflow is to start with things, and then I'll go in craft as needed when I'm moving forward within my specific workflow. Now, the other way things help me drive my craft usage is by using tags. So as you can see here, if I go in my in this project, which is moving out of Substack, you'll see that for each option, there's a list of tags that I assign on each task. So, and there's also tags that are assigned to the old project. So tags are pretty powerful. So how I'm using tag now. So if I want to look at everything that are in my content creation pipeline, there is a tag name pipeline that I'm assigning to tasks related to content creation. So if I hit Command F, I'll have the quick find menu that will pop up, and then I just have to enter pipeline, and you'll see the first thing on the list is the pipeline tag. So if I hit enter, boom, everything that I get here is a list of tasks and projects. They are ordered in the list, the things that are coming shortly and then later in the future. So I can see all the things that I'm planning to do in the upcoming days or weeks or month. So it's pretty powerful. The other way, the other things that I'm using still related to tags is the content triggers. So content triggers, there's a tag also for that. So I'll just hit enter on that one. So this is the tasks which helps me keep new ideas coming within my content creation journey. So this is how I'm trying to find new ideas to write. So I just have to click on this specific task here, and then it will bring me directly to the craft environment. And this page is a tag page that I'm using. So I just have to show all the backlinks, and those documents are potential triggers for creating, writing new things and post it on the online. So that's the way I'm using the tags in the things to in combination with craft. Now, for tips and tricks segment, I recently ran a poll on my YouTube channel because I was curious where craft users were coming from, which app they use before using craft, and I was quite surprised by the actual result. So it's not a good sample, a big sample. It's only 45% voted on this poll, but it gives me an idea of where people are coming from. So 33% came from Notion, which is a bit surprising because Notion is pretty powerful, much more powerful than Craft, but it's not addressing the same kind of user. So I'm guessing that a lot of people that were using Notion thought that the product was not maybe in line with their needs. The other one is 31% came from Evernote. That one I'm not surprised because both application Craft and Evernote kind of feel about the same in regards to storing content and organizing content. The 16% people are coming from Bear. Bear is actually in beta in version 2. I don't know if it will change anything in the future, but 16% came from using Bear. And the other one is Obsidian, which is 20% people coming from Obsidian. Obsidian is a pretty complex and powerful application, but it's not for everyone. I tried it myself, and I'm not sure how we'll make use of that in the future if I'm actually doing that. So this is a poll that I ran recently, and I thought it was interesting to share with you guys. And yeah, that's it for the poll. I recently read a comment. I don't remember if it was in Reddit forum or if it was on Slack, but someone asked, how can we link an object in the Finder on the Mac and put that link into a craft document? And actually, there's a way to do that. I'm quite surprised actually that we can do that. So how can I have this document and a word, for example, in this document point to an object on in the Finder, which is the thing here behind the on the background of this desktop. So it's pretty easy. So let's say I have this folder here where I'll hit command C to copy that, and then I'll switch back to craft, and I'll highlight this word here, just hit the link, and then I'll hit Command Option Shift and V to paste the link to this object. So if I hit enter, it will be a link. And when I'm clicking on this link, it will open up the object, in this case, the folder. So I thought it was pretty cool. I can see a lot of people using that if they have a lot of files or folders that they want to refer in from the from a craft document. So I think it's pretty nice to have to know that. So I hope you find this useful. Now, for the last segment of this video, I want to share a few comments and observations about the last few releases of Craft. With each release of Craft, there's always people who will feel bad or will be angry about this with each releases because the release does not address their very specific need or fix their very specific problem and things like that. So when you look on the Slack channel after a new release comes out, you'll see a lot of people which are angry, and it kind of sends a message where we have to wonder if people are actually loving or still loving craft as an application for writing and sharing documents. So I ran a poll on my YouTube channel recently where 65% voted on this poll, and I wanted to see what was the current mood of craft users. And the results are telling me something interesting. If you look on this poll right here, and you add the I'm good but wishing improvements, like everything we have in life, sometimes something is good, but we may still wish for some improvements. It's pretty obvious for software. And so if you look at this, it's 34% of people who are happy, good about their mood is good. And also there's 22% of users who are super happy with Craft. So if you add those two numbers, it's more than half of the user. It's actually 56% of people which are pretty much happy with Craft. This leaves about a third of users who are actually looking for alternatives because maybe they think craft is no longer suitable for their needs. So I want to I want to share this because I think it puts the general mood in perspective. So sure, some people are not happy, but you'll also find a lot of satisfied user of craft. And by the way, I'm not paid in related to sharing those numbers with you guys. I'm just trying to put a different perspective on this whole issue of having a unhappy user with each release of Craft. So how do I feel about the latest release of Craft? Well, from what I'm seeing, I think the Craft team is at the end of a journey where they try to redesign a very important aspect of craft is it's the sidebar. There's a lot of things going on in a sidebar on craft. This is where you'll see your documents. This is where you'll see all the space that you have in your private environment. And if you have teams, this is where you'll find all the teams in which you are the owner or a member of. So it's very important to understand that I think the craft team is just nearing the end of this overall of their sidebar. We're still missing the table of content feature, which has been released on the web a while ago, and we are still waiting for that to come to the Mac and to the iPad and also to the iPhone. And by changing the sidebar design in the past release, they removed something that maybe they thought it was not very used at all by iPhone user, which is the pull down to bring the search field on the iPhone. They removed that feature while redesigning the sidebar. I expect that they got the message and that they will come back with a different or they reintroduce this navigation feature. But meanwhile, we will have to wait for them to fix this issue. Um, overall, I'm pretty happy since version 2.5. Actually, I'm pretty happy with where the application is going, because uh, before that, they kind of changed the way we pin a specific space in the sidebar. But with version 2.5, it makes a lot of sense. So if I go back in my craft environment, you'll see that there's this is where you'll see the teams. There's the private space is now a, a default team by itself, and then if you have other teams, then this is where you'll find all the teams, and within all those teams, then you'll have the actual space that you are using. So I think for me, I think it makes sense the way it is done. And if I want, I can right click on this and pin this specific space. I can also pin that one. And if I want, I can also pin the inbox. So that way, the most used spaces will be up there on the sidebar. And when you click on a specific space, you actually, maybe you don't know that you were switching maybe to a different team, but it's not a problem by itself. It's just the way it is. So I think that the way it is designed right now, it's pretty nice, and I can't wait to have the table of content feature coming to the Mac also. So overall, I'm pretty happy with the sidebar redesign. Sure, there is some people who don't like to have this expansion happening so easily when you move the cursor over the edge of the window, and it is conflicting with the use of the Stage Manager on the Mac. But I think there is some fix that can be done here by maybe adding a delay. You have to remember that you can hit the escape key on the keyboard so that you can expand or retract the sidebar. So I'm pretty happy, and I'm guessing that for in the next few weeks, the craft team will return to expanding and improving the core experience of craft. So I'm being maybe patient here, but I think it's going to happen. So I'm pretty happy with where craft is going now. So that's it for today's video. I hope you liked it. I hope you learned a few things along the way. Don't be shy and post a comment or ask question on this video, and I'll be more than happy to answer any questions and comments. And also, if you don't subscribe to my YouTube channel, consider doing so you don't miss any upcoming videos. So again, thank you very much for watching, and be there and watching until the end of each video, and see you guys for another one soon. Bye. Peace.